Apparently, it's Japan Week here on the Drafthouse Diary. Last night I went to Sloan's Lake to see the brand new movie Cloud, and tonight I came out here to Aspen Grove and Littleton to see The Tale of ZATOICHI, the 1962 movie that launched the ZATOICHI franchise. This screening of ZATOICHI is part of a series being presented by the Alamo this month of samurai movies and samurai-adjacent movies, all as a tie-in promotionally to the upcoming PlayStation game, Ghost of Yotei. The Tale of ZATOICHI is one of those movies where, when you see it so many decades later, it appears to have so many well-known tropes baked in, but it was the source of so many of those. ZATOICHI, our title character, is a blind master swordsman, and I have no problem seeing this as a precursor to Donnie Yen's character in Star Wars Rogue One, or Donnie Yen's character in John Wick Chapter 4. Any other Donnie Yen characters, maybe? Either way, the philosophical blind master warrior is a trope that we have seen before in movies, but I think ZATOICHI is one of the first instances of that, or at least one of the first instances that had such influence. And the movie is, by the way, adapted from the character and stories in Japanese literature. Now, given that our main character's primary trait is that he has these legendary skills as a fighter, you would expect this to be a movie chock full of action and combat. And while it has some of that, it's not really that kind of movie. It is very much a melodrama, as ZATOICHI comes into town, finds himself embroiled in a gang war between two rival Yakuza factions, and the story involves ZATOICHI, but also a lot of the other characters and their personal struggles and problems and mistakes, all of which come together and fuel the action that drives the plot forward. And it does move forward fairly well. There are some slow spots, and it's a fairly well done melodrama, but it is a melodrama. If anything, most of the actual combat scenes towards the end, as this long simmering gang war finally breaks out, are kind of a jumble. Some of the shots are specifically framed to show us as little of the combat action as possible. Maybe that was to keep too much blood and gore from appearing on screen. Maybe it was to convey the fact that in a fight like this, nobody really knows what's going on. Either way, given the amount of battle we saw in the movie, it worked very well. If we had seen minutes and minutes and minutes of fighting shot in the same way, it might have gotten tedious. Another point that I like is that even though throughout the entire movie we hear about ZATOICHI's legendary skill with a blade, we see very little of it. Early on in the movie, when he is goaded by someone doubting his ability, we see a very brief demonstration involving a candle and very fast sword work. And then at the very end of the movie, we see a final confrontation between ZATOICHI and a samurai who has aligned with the other Yakuza band. And again, that fight is not shown with the kind of elaborate on-screen choreography that we might see in 2025. Instead, it is shown in a very minimal way, and the power of what we're seeing comes from the performances, and the actors in this movie are excellent. And the close-ups that we see to convey the emotion that they, with which they are responding to these actions that they're witnessing or that they're taking part in, that's what carries this movie. It's a very personal, very emotional movie, more than it is an action movie. I want to tell you now about other parts of my trip to the Alamo, but if you're enjoying this, please click that like button, and if you want more of these as they come out, click subscribe. The Alamo pre-show for this movie was extremely predictable, and it was just right. It was essentially a long string of trailers for samurai movies, many, if not all of which, are part of this August screening at the Alamo Drafthouse. Some of them I've seen before, although how have I not seen 13 Assassins? That looks terrific. I have got to see that movie. If there are any other samurai movies that I should make a point of seeing, please let me know in the comments. The pre-show also ended not with a trailer, but with a long promo for the game Ghost of Yotei. And I want to talk about that a little bit more, because Ghost of Yotei is coming out in a couple of months for PlayStation 5. Now, what happened about 1 year ago? Sony purchased the Alamo Drafthouse. But this PlayStation tie-in is the first thing I have noticed that suggests any interaction, let alone interference, between the Alamo programming and Sony and its other corporate interests. And if this is what we get from Sony's involvement with the Alamo, I'm fine with that. The fact that this screening is connected with the release of a PlayStation game, it doesn't change the fact that the movies that they're showing are good, that the movies that they have assembled for this screening series are worthy. So I don't know if this is going to continue. I don't know if we're going to see more Sony involvement in Alamo programming, but of all the things that could happen, getting a series of samurai movies connected with a samurai game, that's fine with me. And by the way, the promo for Ghost of Yotei was very interesting because it talked about how the inspiration for this game was exactly these classic samurai movies. And they even worked with legendary directors, or in the case of Akira Kurosawa, his estate, to create game modes to alter the look and the sound of the game to give the feel of a particular director's style. I don't have a PlayStation 5. If I did, I'd probably give Ghost of Yotei a try, just for that cinematic connection, if nothing else. But this is not an ad. I'm not paid by Alamo. I'm not paid by Sony. I'm not paid by PlayStation. And it's just my opinion based upon what I saw during the pre-show. For dinner at this visit, I got the Harissa chicken sandwich. There's a little bit too much going on in that sandwich, but it's still very good. I'm still trying to decide if there are things I would ask them to leave off next time I order that. There was a special menu for this Ghost of Yotei tie-in samurai movie screening series, and I attempted to order something off of that menu. What I wanted to get was the mango matcha shake. How authentic that is to the samurai ethos or time period, I don't think very much, but it sounded good. Unfortunately, once again, their shake machine was not working, so I could not try it. If you happen to have tried that shake at your local Alamo, please let me know how it is. I'm very curious. And I don't know that I'm going to get back here to another one of these samurai tie-in screenings to try it myself. The shake machine notwithstanding, the theater was comfortable, the staff was good and quick and friendly, and it was a fun night at the movies. Thank you very much for joining me for this Drafthouse Diary, and if you want to see an old Drafthouse Diary with a review of another one of the samurai-related movies that are screening this month, Lady Snowblood, take a look at this video next. I will be back soon with more, and in the meantime, enjoy your movies, and when you do, stay till the end of the credits.